Daytona International Speedway, the virtual Daytona, going to be host to round 17 of 25 in this OMA season. I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the OMA season, joined by Fisher and Expert. Fish, Expert, welcome to Daytona. Fish, Ward-Burton's on the pole, Glickson on the outside, Chaos third, Fabico. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful finale to the regular season.
We got a pretty good points battle going into tonight. Looking at the 42 car, he's in by 2, and Michael Barron out by 2 as well. So that's going to be an important aspect. Yeah, so I'm excited tonight. I know Expert is as well, right?
Oh, certainly. These guys have been preparing for this coming into this race. We know it's going to be a tight points battle between those two. A car I'm looking out for, though, tonight is the winner here last year, the 12 of Sebastian Kukulon. He's coming into this race, once again, the winner last year, and has been really that second McGinnis car all year round. But tonight he's looking to try to prove why he still could be considered the #1 guy on that team. He's coming in hungry, looking for the win here tonight.
It's going to be a wonderful race. Philly season starting on the outside with Ward-Burton to his inside. Drew LMAO in the #1 gear wrench Ford. Yoshi Racing. Keep an eye on these gamer tags. We will be referring to these drivers by their IRL names, if you will. Guys like SW Goff, Trippy, Tricks, X-Skull, Logan, Twisted Gold, all ready to get going, but at the front, Ward-Burton in car 22, ready to get us started. Green flag is out, and the season finale is underway. Drivers bouncing off of that yellow line. Fish, it's going to be difficult. Already action behind them. The 95 missing around there. The 12 car getting off the wall. That's Sebastian Kukulon, and now the 95's gone around out of turn 1. That's the rookie Tackwell, Fish.
Yeah, that's the first car we're seeing spinning all day, and we know the 95 has had lag issues all season, so we'll have to see if that comes into play. But now it's single file through turns 3 and 4, and it's the 2 McGinnis cars out in front early on. That's Tim Moore in the 22 and Fabricio Lamana in the 2 car, and then the 47 back there in third.
Expert coming to the line, 22, 247. Ward-Burton leads. He's got right behind him in that 2 car, Fabrizio Lamana, and then in the 47, Paul Jackson, Ford Chevrolet. 1 lap complete.
And yeah, Tim Moore coming in with a reign of dominance so far over the OMA season, coming in with 9 wins, very similar to his VNS campaign last year, where he was able to score 11 wins. Right here, he's looking to try to lock down another win here tonight, and this is just what we've seen all season. Tim Moore being able to be dominant here early. Let's see how long he can hold on to that P1 position.
Fish, Tackwell in the 95, and then Kukulon in the 12, just up against it now. The 47 of Jackson sitting third. Then you have the 1 car of Drew Jua, who's really trying to make the outside work. What's it going to take to make the high line progress?
Yeah, last night we saw a lot of movement in the VNS race. Guys testing that top lane. It wasn't really working there, but we're starting to see some guys jump early and early on in this race, move up that top lane. That top line is led by Riley Goff in the 4 car, but we're seeing some guys switch lanes rapidly. So we'll have to see if this top lane can prevail, but they're hanging strong on that top side.
Top side holding strong, the 88 of Yoshi Racing, otherwise known as Parker Ness, the rookie, a VRC rookie. 4th in the standings right now. He's looking on his way into these playoffs. The 47 of Jackson trying to find some space, and a couple guys behind him. Drew is in the wall. Now Casey Masser in the Wienermobile. That Oscar Meyer car looking to the outside of car 41 of another VRC rookie, Michael Barron, who finds himself 9th in these standings. It looks like 1 car's gone to the outside. That's the custom 99 of Ike Shelley, the VNS Season 4 champions in the wall, Expert.
Yeah, and that's very unfortunate for him. He's been one of the McGinnis cars that we haven't been able to see much of. He's been very overshadowed by his other teammates so far this year, but has made a huge impact in the time he has had in his VRC campaign up to this point. But now he's got to get reset and refocused, as he has the reigning champion right there in Drew Jewell right behind him.
Inyakavasi in that sunshine yellow. 24 Hertz forward as the 77 looks to the inside. The 41 gets hooked on the inside of Yakavasi's front fender, and he manages to hang on with that 20 Stanley Camry of Ryan Miniker right behind him. One VRC win for the 20 of Miniker. He's already been kicked back here. He'll have to make his way back up. Vinyakavadze, expert, the winner at Phoenix this year, but he's missed the last 10 races in OMA. He won't be making the playoffs, but he's in the top 5, racing for pride tonight, expert. Knowing that there's no playoff pressure on your shoulders, is it easier to go for the outright win at a place like Daytona?
Kind of left, so I assume he missed the question, so I'll go ahead and answer for him. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a tough situation, but I mean, the playoff battle is a little bit lesser here. So, I mean, a lot of these guys are not going to have to race for much, especially with the regular season championship being pretty much in Tim Moore's favor here. He's pretty much, I think, mathematically locked that up by a lot. So, I mean, obviously, these guys are going to try to race for the win now. And with the playoff battle not being intense as Talmadge has missed this race, Barron pretty much locked up. So, I mean, I think there's basically nothing to lose for all these guys in here. But we're starting to see that top line where Goff has been testing that a lot throughout the early stages of this race.
Goff in the Ford to the outside of that freaky fast Ford. He sits 5th in the point standings right now. He's in those playoffs. Expert Jared Goff rocking that 4 car. He is the VRC Season 5 Rookie of the Year with a 3rd finish at Pocono. He's got nothing to lose as well. He's now on the outside coming up behind the 22 of Tim Moore.
And right here, this is going to be a big statement for him if he's able to get up there and get to the lead. He was one of the best cars at the 250 at the Daytona race that started us off this season. And right here, working with his rumored teammate for next year in Parker Ness, these guys are trying to rocket their way to the front as contact behind them occurs to 0-0 in the wall.
Cars fanning out 3 and 4 wide, trying to pick up the pieces. Fish, the 22 of Tim Moore, has led every lap tonight.
Yeah, and he's been pretty good so far. It's obviously not that hard to kind of keep that lead. We were seeing that last night as well. Kind of once you get to that lead, it's pretty easy to block as chaos happens behind him. And we saw the chaos happen earlier as Paul Jackson, that 47, kind of got shuffled out of line. He'll fall back in line behind the 88. That's his own car. He owns the Thunderbolt team. Now we're starting to see more guys jump to the top, and that's the 10 and the 4 and the 20. They're all coming with a run, trying to see what they can do.
The 22 of Tim Moore still leading, and what a dominant performance by Tim Moore in OMA. Driving for McGuinness Motorsports, he's got 9 wins this season, picking up 7 of the last 9 W's. He comes into the season finale leading these points. He's clinched that regular season championship already, and it seems like these guys are starting to get into 2 working lines on the racetrack. Lamina right behind him into that number 2 discount tire Ford. 2 Fords, 2 Chevrolets, your top 4, and then it's a mess of cars behind them, X.
And yeah, you can see a lot of guys trying to make that high line work. Parker Ness with one heck of a run. He's going to go to the outside of the 2 of Fabricio Lamana and hope that that teammate or future teammate of Riley Goff is able to get to that back bumper. He lost a good bit of momentum. Let's see if they can get it back.
Single file coming across this line one more time. 22, 24. Now your top 3. 12 of 40 laps underway in the first half of this race. We'll run 40, take a halfway mark, and then we'll run 40 more for the regular season title. That 22 is holding strong at the front. As you can see, the 24 is trying to make way. Big bump draft from that Hertz Chevy to the back of Lamina's number 2. And then you've got the 47 car of Paul Jackson there as well. Vinyakavadze, X, is really controlling things here. That 3rd place car has all the power in the fight for the lead.
And last year, he was actually the Daytona 250 winner, so it's no surprise that he's having good success here. He has made very few starts, though, this season, but of course, it'd be nice to come back and try to go get a win here tonight. We know that 24 is looking to put it in victory lane.
Fish.
While you were talking about that, Goff spun.
Go ahead.
In the back. That kind of split up the field now. As Expert was talking there, we're seeing some of those guys lag behind. Now that's the 10, 77, 00, and 47 cars. All kind of fell back behind Goff spinning, and that kind of slowed the top lane up. We're seeing a single file run through 3 and 4. Still the Tim's out in front, so I imagine that spin's going to kind of separate the field here now.
And
Big
caution just came out.
Yeah.
They called it to race it back here, so caution will be out at the line.
Yellow flag out at the line. The 22 of Tim Moore leading this race. The 2 of Lamana now slowing down. Everybody catching a break. Some contact. Drew Jua is in the wall. The 99 car now gets a piece of that as well. That's Ike Shelley in that Ford. Tim Moore remains the leader. And big shout out to Vols fan 88 with a couple of flame emojis in the chat. Vols, happy to have you here, buddy. Thank you so much. Send my love to Mama Vols as well. There we see the 47 of Paul Jackson, who's on an independent team. 5 VRC wins to his name, looking to get 1 more. Fans at home, if you're just joining us, I'm Rick James, joined by Fisher and Expert for the regular season finale of OMA from the virtual Daytona International Speedway. Having a great time. Fish, such a fun track here, but with Jarrett Talmadge not showing up, he's only 2 points to the good. Michael Barron in the 41 car has to gain those 2 points on Jarrett Talmadge, and realistically, all he has to do is finish this race.
Yeah, that's exactly what he has to do. At this point, Jarrett's out, which is pretty surprising for a defending champion. We know how fast Jarrett can be. Obviously won the Season 4 Virtual Racing Championship season there, but we know how fast he is, but he's been just on a kind of decline this whole season. So it's an unfortunate way to end that the year, basically. So he's going to mathematically be out because, yeah, Michael just has to finish. And he's been pretty solid, running about mid-pack all day, but that's all he really has to do. And, of course, Ryan Mineker is in this race. He does come in out by 44, but he's going to need a massive mistake out of that car. It's obviously still possible, but it's going to take a lot.
It's going to take quite a lot, and one driver who's looking possible to win this race, obviously the 22 of Tim Moore. There's Jared Goff in the 4 who went around. There's the aforementioned Michael Barron with a lot of work to do. Let's see if we can have a word with our race leader, Tim Moore, see how he's enjoying the race. Timmy Moore, Rick James in the booth. You got me, pal? Tim Moore, Rick James in the booth. You got us?
Okay.
All right, we'll try and get another word with Tim Moore here at a later date. He's probably going to work here, so we'll let him do his thing. We'll move him here shortly. Fish, a fantastic drive by that 22 so far. Can anybody dethrone him from the lead? Pretty easy to lead when your name is Tim Moore as well. That 22 car just coming into OMA with a lot of talent, a big reputation, and he has made good on that reputation. And look at this, what's happening here? We got 4 cars just peeling off to the left, taking the inner loop there for funsies, it appears, and no idea what's going to happen. They made some extracurricular contact with some other drivers there. Hopefully that's not extra damage and it's not going to cause any issues to this restart. The 47 of Paul Jackson making contact with the 20 there as well. We'll see how they drive. Race control saying the 99 car is starting to lag. And on the front row, you've got 2 Fords locking out those top 2 spots. 3 Fords in the top 4 with the 6 of Casey Masser lining up behind him. First restart coming through. And let's turn these guys loose one more time. Tim Moore on the inside, Fabrizio Lamina to his outside, Casey Masser sitting third, and a whole bunch of Chevys behind him, waiting for the green flag. Through that restart zone, and we're racing again. Green flag is out at Daytona. Expert single file already. Ford, your top 3. Where's the move going to come for first place?
If it's going to come anywhere, it's going to come from the aggression out of the reigning champion right now in Drew Chua. As right now, he's going to be able to move up to third. But Casey Masser, he's going to move to the high side. with a large train and a large push coming. Here comes Vinny Iacovazzi.
Iacovazzi on the outside. He's got the 9 right behind him. That UniFirst Camaro with some contact behind him. The 77 gets into the wall. There goes the 99. He's up on his side and into the roof, and it looks like he's just left, just disappeared out of nowhere, and a huge lag. Now the 12 of Kukulon's going around. Cars spinning everywhere. Race control saying the 95 is around, and we're still moving, still green so far. 2 by 2, 4 rows deep, Fish.
Rick, I'm surprised that's not a caution. That looked like maybe half the field got involved in that. Obviously, half the field has to wreck on a restart on the opening lap for it to be a yellow, but I guess race control doesn't see that, so we'll have to see if that ends up being a caution, but I doubt it. Yeah, but you're still seeing them being side by side, 4 rows deep down here. Oh, more contact. That's, I think, the 9 all the way up in the wall. The 41 kind of forced 3 wide with a 1 on the bottom, so I think this might make them single file mostly, but Iacovazzi's still on the top.
More to the lead, Gavin Hudspeth in that 9 UniFirst Camaro settles his race car. There's Tim Moore leading. He's got Vinny Iacovazzi. Look at that right there, bit of a lag spike. Now Lamana gets into the 22. Car spinning around everywhere, and it looks like that's actually the yellow flag that's out for the second time today. And the second caution comes out. No caution from race control, but now it looks like they have indeed called that yellow. See the 41 just flying around. That's Barron in the 41. The 9 car of Hudspeth, the 24 of Iacovazzi, all getting around the leader. And there's confusion from race control here, Fish. And we're still moving. We're still moving. Race control said no caution. Drivers were expecting a caution. Drivers moving back up to speed, and a lot of now race control is calling the caution. And that is, that's quite some disorganization there. We'll see if they choose to call the 41 of Michael Barron as the leader. Race control originally calling no caution, but now after seeing everybody get off the gas, they do indeed call that caution. Fish, walk us through what exactly happened there.
Yeah, I think obviously we saw on that restart it looked like it could have been a yellow flag there, and I think that's what a lot of the drivers were thinking. Even I said that as well as they were on the backstretch. I thought that should have been a yellow, and it looks like I think Paul, who's obviously a mod, but he's racing. I guess he said that there was no caution, but the other drivers, I guess, misunderstood that or thought there was a yellow, and then race control obviously said there was no caution, but I guess everyone thought it was a caution there and started slowing down. But pit road will be open this time. I don't know who the leader is. I guess they're going to call Michael Barron the leader because then it's Shelley and then Hudspeth behind him. So, I mean, this is a good opportunity for Michael Barron. He gained a lot of spots off of this.
Tim Moore in the 22 pushed back out of the top 3. There is Seb Kukulon in that number 12. Comes into this race second in points. He's in the chase. You better believe it. He's one of the few drivers that have started all 16 races this season. Even the leader, Tim Moore, only getting 15 out of 16 starts. But despite that, he's got a sensational lead over the rest of his competition, as does the 12 of Kukulon. Fans at home, we are going to take a short 60-second break. We're going to keep the pre-rolls off for new viewers, and we're going to get back into the action. We're going to restart this first half of the race. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 60. Back with you for the restart. Caution number 2 coming out after some confusion. Fans at home, we are now ad-free for the next 19 and 1/2 minutes. Thanks so much for your patience. We're going to get back to racing. Expert, the 41 car, now going to be back at the front of this race. Michael Barron taking advantage of that confusion. And we're about halfway, I'm going to say a quarter way through this race. Of course, we're going to take a break at the halfway mark and then get racing again. Is there pressure on the 41 to keep the lead, or does he just need to stay at the front of this race? $18 laps now complete, 19 laps underway. Green flag is out. 41-1-4. Your top 3 headed into that first corner. The 41 of Michael Barron, the rookie, the 1 car being piloted by Drew Jua, and then the 4 of Riley Goff. Drivers struggling to get up to speed. Fish, they are just weaving about in turn 1.
We're seeing a lot of guys maybe tap that apron just slightly, but that continued from the bottom all the way to the top. Now, Michael's doing a pretty good job holding that bottom lane, but we're seeing a lot of guys shift down there. But Steinberg went up the top, goes back to the bottom to help out his teammate in the 41. That kind of leaves Logan Vera up there all by himself in that 0-0.
Vera by himself in the 0-0. You're looking at the view from the 24 of Iacovazzi, almost 3 wide here. Iacovazzi trying to force the issue down the short chute into the tri-oval. Iacovazzi chooses the high side now behind the 0-0 of Vera. He's got the 2 of Lamana behind him, but the inside train is the one that's got the most steam. Casey Masser in the 6. He's got a choice, and he chooses the inside. Jua stuck to the outside. Now he's got the 20 to his inside, and the Stanley Camry gets into the 1 car. Miniker gets into the 1. Now the 24 of Iacovazzi slams the wall. We'll see if they call the yellow, but they're still racing. Fish at the front. It's still the 41 of Barron.
So it looks like Vinny was the only one that got in that, and obviously it's just a 1 car, so they wouldn't call that as a caution. Has to be, I believe, at least 3. But now we're starting to see all these guys be single file. I think they might be starting to calm down a little bit.
Halfway through this first stage in the race, 21 laps now underway. The 41 of Barron leading. That 10, Smithfield Ford, being piloted by Ryan Steinberg. No VRC wins for Steinberg, and behind him, the 4 of Riley Goff. Goff, he finished 3rd this year, and he's got 2 career VRC wins. Was that the 22 of Moore who fell out of line, Expert?
It was right there, and it's going to be very tough for these guys, especially for Tim Moore, to try to get back to that P1 position he was in earlier. Hoffman Family Racing currently sitting 1, 2, 3. They have been known as one of the most aggressive teams when it comes to plate racing, but it goes without saying that it also means they are good at plate racing. We can obviously see they're in a pretty good position right now.
The 9 of Hudsmith now trying to get away from the 12 of Kukulon, behind the 1 of Jua, headed into turn 1. The 77 car, Jonah Yulhanian. He's now moving on the outside in the Advanced Health Camaro, trying to gain some position, but it seems like, Fish, the inside's the way to go. Gosh, now shoved to the outside with no help.
And there's experts' thing about talking about how aggressive these Hoffman cars are. Might be because he drives part-time in that 10 car. Maybe they're carrying that aggression over. But we're looking at how these guys have been aggressive so far. They're running 1st, 2nd, and 4th with Goffing in that 4th position, and they're starting to test the top. But it's been pretty Ford dominant throughout the early stages of this race. We're a little bit over a quarter of the way through. I'm pretty excited. I think outside of the Fords, Miniker looks like the highest guy, and I think he's highest non-Ford. He's back there 5th in that Toyota.
4 Fords in the top 5, running 1, 2, 3, 4. The rookie, Barron. Steinberg sitting in 2nd. Tim Moore makes his way up to 3rd. And then Riley Goff, who was involved in that accident, with a head full of steam. He's going to give a shove to the 10. He's going to back off. He's got the 20 of Miniker behind him. Moore to the outside with no help, and they know it, Fish. These guys are leaving the regular season champion out to dry.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about. Is apparently Vinny's doing some weird stuff up there. He's going very slow. It's going to be interesting to see how they get around him. As we're almost wrecking, the 1 kind of slides down to the apron. I'm interested to see if Iacovazzi's going to LePage. He's swerving everywhere. As the wreck happens behind, that's Hudspeth spinning. I don't know what's going to happen here.
47 of Jackson just gets into the 1 of Jua out into the wall, and it looks like drivers are slowing down now. The 24 of Yakovazzi out in front, and he is impeding these drivers. What is going to become of these guys? Expert, the 24 of Yakovazzi, now has the organization of this race in his hands.
And right here, it's the moment of truth. These guys looking for a lane possibly to go around. He's going to take the preferred lane of the bottom, and here these guys go now 3 wide for the top 3 right here as they try to get past that 24.
The 10 of Steinberg now gets into the 24 of Yakovazzi. So volatile. Yakovazzi in front of the regular season champion. Vera behind the 2 of Lamina. Headed into turn 1. The 24 of Yakovazzi impeding these drivers. The 4 of Goff gets into the outside wall. Yakovazzi now a lap down. 3rd in line with the regular season champion Moore behind him. Michael Barron coming into this race. All he needs to do is finish, and he's in these playoffs. There's the 24 of Yakovazzi. He seems to have his composure for now, but we'll see how this continues. We are now fewer than 15 laps away from the end of stage 1.
I really don't know what Yakovazzi's doing. Obviously, we know he has history. He's been pretty much, I think everyone in this field doesn't really like him that much, which kind of sounds negative, but it's pretty much true. A lot of guys don't like him, so I'm kind of like, I'm not surprised that he did that, but I'm sure that's not making any of these guys like him more. But I mean, it's kind of helping out. Some of these guys pull away. Starting to see the 41 and 10 try to clear him. 20's kind of swerving back and forth, but he's still holding these guys up. That might allow that second group back there to maybe gain some ground on them.
Expert, the 24 of Yakovazzi's got a head full of steam again. He's not interrupting anything. In fact, he's giving the 22 of Moore a pull to the front now. Barron still leads, Steinberg behind him, and then Moore now getting a tow from the 24. He's going to take the 77 with him.
And right there, you can see these guys starting to build up a draft line, possibly Vinny building up a gap behind them. But to give a points update real quick, the 20 of Ryan Miniker just disconnected. It was going to be a tough trek for him anyways to try to make his way into the playoffs, but it's all but official. The playoff field is pretty much set as now the 41 clinches the final position in the playoffs.
That's going to be it. The 41 of Michael Barron coming into this race. Just 2 points outside the playoffs. Miniker, who's out of this race due to connection issues, now not going to make the playoffs, and Jarrett Tallmadge, who just was not able to participate in tonight's race. Obviously a DNS, and if everything goes the way it does, barring admonishments and potential penalties, the 41 of Michael Barron has sealed his playoff fate. He is in the OMA playoffs. But now look at this fish, the 22 of Moore with a head full of steam and help from the 24 of Yakovazzi to the point. Tim Moore, new leader.
I was worried about this lap traffic, if that was going to come into play here and cause the second group to gain ground on him, and we're seeing that right here. So it's going to be interesting to see if this top lane can get around the 24. Even the bottom lane, Lamana is hanging pretty strong on the bottom in that 2 car. But I did see the 77 spun about a lap ago due to the lap traffic. So we'll have to see if these guys can navigate their way around him. But, I mean, this is now one pretty big group now. So there's a pretty good chance someone will wreck here.
We'll see what happens in these closing laps of this opening stage. The 22 of Tim Moore back at the front where he spent the majority of time. We're going to have roughly about lucky number 13 laps to go in this first stage of the season finale. Tim Moore back to the front. Vinny Yakovazzi not being scored in second. He is a lap down. The 2 of Fabrizio Lamina sitting in second with the 47 of Paul Jackson third. Logan Vera fourth. Seb Kukulon now getting all out of shape. Back to the 12. There's the 12 who regains composure. He's behind the 4 of Riley Goff. Lucky number 13 laps to go, Expert.
And you're exactly right. These guys are getting bogged behind them. But I want to shout out a few guys. 3 of the top 5 are not full-time points racers here in the BRC. Looking in third, Fabrizio Lamana there in that 2 McGinnis machine. The 47 of Paul Jackson and the 00 Logan Vera. All VNS drivers coming up and racing here in the BRC for some cup experience. And these guys are showing out in their rare but also very helpful opportunities.
There's the 24 of Iacovazzi, who's gained composure. The 41 of Michael Barron now all along, well under that yellow line. The 41 now giving up positions. He gets clipped by the 12 of Kukulon, losing control. And the Haas Mustang now goes around by himself on that front straight. There he is under his own power. We just... weird that that 41 just got clipped by the 12, and that's all she wrote there. There's the 20 of Miniker, and the 95 car also DNFing today, the 00 of Logan Vera, back under his own power. Steinberg, who was second at one point, now at the back of this lead pack, and the 2 car of Fabrizio Lamina, your new leader, Fish.
You were mentioning all that stuff. I was watching this little battle for the lead. The 24 moved up and took the 2 with them. Surprised that the McGinnis guy of Lamana kind of left his teammate on the bottom lane there. And now we're kind of seeing a little bit of guys shifting. We can see the 47 getting help from the 4. Those 2 trying to work to get to the front. Still, though, that 24 is a lap car, but he's pretty much minding his own business here, not really doing anything aggressive to try to block. He even kind of helped Lamana get the lead, like I said. Yeah, we got a new leader here at Daytona.
The 2 car now with the stage 1 fate in his own hands. The 12 of Kukulon, the second in line. A bit of a lag spike potentially because the 22 backed off, or is more, trying to get a run around that number 2 Ford, Expert.
That could be the possibility. A lot of guys trying to find ways to make moves here. It's all about points here as we enter the closing laps. Right now, that 24, though, we talked about how it's important for the top 5 to get points. It's important for that 24 to stay in front of this lead pack. He wants to end halfway without being a lap down. He's in a perfect position right now, but he cannot afford to be passed.
22 sitting in second with the 12 behind him. These 3 Penske Fords, nose to tail. It's 6 Fords. Look at this. 6 Fords sitting in that top 5. You've got the 2 leading, the 22 behind him, all Penske cars at the front. Then you've got the 6 Wienermobile of Casey Master just ahead of the 10 of Ryan Steinberg. Fish, what's it going to take to break this train? Because that outside move is so hard to pull off.
And I think the main issue we can kind of see here is because of the fact that all 3 of these guys are teammates. The 2, 22, and 12 cars is actually Tim's going to hit the apron there a little bit. I think he's okay, but that's a key thing. That's splitting up the McGinnis trio up in the front. That allows Masser and Goff to clear him, and Steinberg's just going to set on line behind Tim. But that separated the 2 cars, and now Masser's going to try to go to second, I believe, as well.
Master on the outside with no help, hoping the 4 of Goff goes with him. He sneaks back into line. The 2 of Lamina still leading this race, coming to the halfway mark, and it's all for pride now, Expert. The playoffs have been set. These drivers just racing for the outright win.
And right here, I mean, the guys, especially the ones that are just running part-time, and now the guys that are locked in and know where they stand as far as playoff positioning, you just mentioned, it's all about the win. And we know that 2 car, he's been talking about it a lot, about how much he wants to be able to run in VRC. If he picks up a win in a part-time ride, you could pretty much seal the deal for next year.
The 2 of Lamina coming into this race. He finds himself in contention, in good contention for this, must be reading these points wrong. It looks like the 2 actually is not in playoff contention. He's going for the outright win here as well. But now the 12 of Kukulon up to his inside. 38 laps underway, 3 to go in the stage.
Yeah, Rick, and you were talking about how Lamana is not going for that championship. He's obviously going for a more important championship to him. He's going for the VNS championship, which obviously wrapped up the regular season last night. He's currently 4th in points there, so we know he has talent, but I think maybe a VRC win might be as sweet as getting a VNS championship. Maybe not. I don't know, depending on his opinion, but he's done a pretty good job here. Right now, we kind of separated the McGinnis 3. They're kind of spread out throughout this group. Goff might have a chance with his teammate behind him to maybe try to leap around maybe that top lane and try to get past his 12.
24 still at the front of this train, but not leading this race. The 12 sitting in second. Lamana now behind the 10 of Steinberg, who's rolling in the 3rd spot right now behind the 4 of Goff. At the top of the show, Expert, we asked what it would take to break that train, and that 3rd place car really holding all the marbles. Last lap coming up in this first stage next time.
And these guys, you can see a group of cars going up to the high line being led by that 2-car Fabricio Lamana. Here comes that 12 of Sebastian Kukulon. They're going to try to get ahead of this 24. Not sure if it's going to be able to work, though. But here we go. The two lines have formed up, and it's going to be an exciting last lap.
2.5 more miles to go. Fish 12 to the inside, 2 to the outside, and the 24 is the Joker card. What line does he go with?
And he blocked from the top to the bottom. That's a tough situation right there. As the 2 tries to clear him, he's clear now, but almost a just dramatic situation there. He's about to block and almost get turned there, but Fabricio was able to clear him. And I don't know if anyone can get around the 24. He might have this locked up if anyone can not get around him.
This is it to the line. Half a lap to go in this first stage. 2 leading, 24 behind him. He's getting help from the lap car. The 12 of Kukulon getting help from Goff in the 4. Contact as cars bouncing off that yellow line. The 10 of Steinberg can't hold it together. It's going to be a drag race to the line. There's the 2 of Lamina. He throws the block. Contact between the 12 and the 24 at the line. The 2 car of Fabrizio Lamina wins the first stage in this regular season finale. Fish, thrilling end there, but it was just a bit too short for the 12 of Kukulon.
Yeah, and that was a pretty good battle. I mean, they did the exact goal they were trying to do. I was really shocked by the fact that we did not see the Hoffman family racing cars jump out of line. We saw Ryan Steinberg and Riley Goff were lined up second and third with about a couple of laps to go. They did not jump out. I was kind of expecting them to. But that allowed Lamana and the rest of the guys behind him to pull away and kind of get that gap. And the 24 did come into play. He was kind of blocking a little bit there, not really, but I think for third, or the battle for second was between the 6 and the 12. Don't really know who got that, because obviously first through fifth get points. So we'll have to see from race control who got the top 5.
There's the 99, the rookie who's gone around one more time under caution, and it's not the first time that the rookie has gone around. Talking about Ike Shelley, the Season 4 VNS champion, going around under caution again. Drivers will come down for tires and fuel. There's the 47 of Paul Jackson hung up on the outside wall. Not sure what that's all about, but the pits are open. No, the pits are closed. Drivers will come around. Pit road is closed this time by. Expert, what have these guys learned in the first half of that race? And guys like the 12 of Kukulon, the 6 of Masser, the 10 of Steinberg, who have yet to go to the front of this race, the 4 of Goff as well. What's it going to take from them to get into leading contention?
Well, this is going to sound a little obvious coming from me, but it's going to take a little bit of aggression, taking a risky move, something like that. You got to put all your cards on the table and be able to take a chance to go up to the front of one of these plate races. And of course, you have to be organized with some teammates or with some guys that you know are in the same position as you and want to get to the front and are willing to work together. It's all about focusing not only on yourself, but being able to be in a position where it's like you help me help you, and try to see if you can get some friends up front.
Fish, that seems to be the name of the game at plate tracks, is scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. But at what point, how many laps to go? Do you wait until that white flag, until there's no more friends out on the track?
Yeah, and I mean, we saw that last night. These guys waited until the last lap, and obviously Expert knows a lot about that, going to victory lane last night. But we know the fact that these guys are going to try to wait. You don't want to go too early or go too late. And I noticed you said in race control that a lot of guys did come down pit road there while pit road was closed. They're obviously going to have to go to the rear. I saw a couple down pit road. But yeah, I think you got to wait until the last lap, because you're not going to want to, jump out too early, maybe make that mistake. But it's a lot easier when you got some friends up there like we've seen the McGinnis guys have.
There, the 9 of Gavin Hudspeth was one of the only drivers to come down pit road. He will be sent to the rear. But no matter, he'll still have plenty of time to get up there. Drivers are going to come down pits, get their tires, get their fuel. Fans at home, we're going to take a 60-second break to keep these pesky pre-rolls off for another 20 minutes, and then we'll be back for the start of Stage 2 of the OMA season finale. Don't go anywhere. Back with you for the start of this race. We're going to get this restarted. Yellow flag about to be rescinded, and we're going to get racing once again. Fish, exciting first stage there, but now for the first time tonight, Casey Masser in the number 6 Wienermobile leading the race. What's he got to do to stay up there?
Well, I mean, we know how good he is based off of the fact, as you can see, he's in his NASCAR Heat Pro League car there. But we know how fast he can be. He has not made many OMA starts this year. I think he's only made one start. But he does have a VNS championship to his name, so we know how fast he is. I think you just got to do what we've seen all race. These guys got to lead and be able to control it, but we are starting to see some guys be more aggressive later on here.
The 12 of Seb Kukla on the control car on the outside, so he is technically the leader, but the 6 of Master will have the preferred line. Waiting for the green flag. Stage 2 is underway at Daytona. Fish, Kukla to the inside, but Moore's on the outside. He's got Farah pushing him along. Moore now to the inside, Fish.
Yeah, and I was seeing on that restart there, I thought Kukla was going to be able to go to the top and then pull down and take Tim with him. But we are able to see them work together. But Tim's moving to the top lane, I guess, to try to stop the run, but there really isn't a run. But yeah, he's kind of switching lanes. I would imagine maybe he's going to start moving down, and the 41 kind of hit the wall back there.
That is the 41 of Michael Barron, who is locked into the playoffs already. Nothing to lose for him, expert. Tim Moore back to the front.
And right here, the idea, I think, for Tim Moore back there was to try to keep these guys side by side, try to help stall out momentum. It's going to be easier for him to keep the lead if they're racing behind him. But right now, we can see guys spinning out down the back straightaway, trying to cycle out, trying to get into the best position. They're going to have to cycle through these McGinnis cars up front if they want any chance to get to the lead.
You saw briefly the 24 of Yakovazzi literally putting 2 tires on the grass. Gets back in line behind the 41 of Barron. It's not been a fantastic race for that 24 so far, but look at this Drew Jua making it 3 wide for 5th place now on the outside. No help, but he's trying to muscle his way through. There's Steinberg to the inside, taking the 41 of Barron with him and the 24 of Yakovazzi. The 1 of Drua being left out to dry. Now the 4 of Goff to his inside. Here comes the rookie, the 99, and Fish, the 1 of Jua, has been left to dry.
And obviously, we know how fast Drew can be. Won the championship last season. But it's been kind of an up and down season, not only for him, but his team. Obviously, Jarrett Talmadge is his teammate. But yeah, it's unfortunate that he hasn't been running maybe the best he'd like to be here. But something I just want to point out, I believe it's an all 4 top 5. This is really impressive how they're being able to hold on to all 5 of these top 5 spots here, with Yakovazzi being the highest running Chevy in 6th.
22 cars still leading. He's got the 12 right behind him. These cars, if they go green, we may expect a green flag pit stop if they'll have the fuel to make it. Are tires that important as well? The 41 of Barron slams into the wall. He gets into the 24 of Yakovazzi. Cars bouncing off each other, trying to stay off of each other into 3. The 41 of Barron now riding the high side with no help, Bish.
It's unfortunate. We saw the Fords that shuffled him out of the top 5 now. But we're still looking here. He's going to probably be able to settle back in line, but it's going to be a long way to go for Michael Barron. Luckily, he doesn't have to worry about that playoff battle anymore, but he's going to have to go to tail end the line here. But yeah, I mean, these McGinnis guys are doing a pretty good job of holding this lead. Drew up there trying to test the top. Maybe he's trying to get some Chevys to go with him. There's
Hudspeth in the 9. He's sandwiched between Yakovazzi and Goff in the 24 and 4 respectively. The 77 car. That Advent Health Chevrolet been involved in a couple incidents today, but Jonah Yulhanian, he's competing full-time in VNS this season with no VRC wins to his name. He'd love to get back up into that fray. Fabrizio Lamina in the 2 car. He's led laps today. He's comfortably sitting in 4th behind Masser, Kukulon, and Moore. 48 of 80 laps underway, expert.
And you're exactly right. And I want to give a shout out to the top 2 right here. of course, I mentioned earlier in the broadcast to look out for that 12 car. He won here last year. But one thing we seem to forget is the VNS win that happened last year. The leader, Tim Moore, who has pretty much dominated in his rookie season here in the VRC, he won this race last year in the VNS. So to see the two McGinnis cars that swept last year or swept the weekend last year being 1-2, I mean, that comes to no surprise to see the dominance out of these top two as we continue here in the later half of this race.
Riley Goff with 2 VRC wins and a third place finish at Pocono, trying the outside with no help, and once again, the outside with no help goes nowhere. Iacobazzi living that right now, gets behind the 00 of Vera, gets a shunt from the 4 of Goff, who bounces up the yellow line, and it's going to back up the 88 Chevrolet as well of Parker Ness, the VRC rookie. Masser sitting in third. He is pulling all the puppet strings right now, expert.
And right here, this is going to be where that possible move could come from. If I'm looking anywhere, it's going to be that 6 of Casey Masser. Of course, he has the 2 of Fabricio behind him, but you also got to look. The 9 of Garrett Hudspeth, the 1 of Drew Jua, the 10 of Brian Steinberg. A lot of guys that are hungry to go up there for wins. And as soon as I say that, that 9 gets on the apron, and that's going to cause a stack up now. Huge separation between the two packs.
A massive separation between these packs, these drivers trying to get a hold of each other, trying to use each other to push and pull the lines forward and back. The 4 Fords at the front starting to break away. Drew Jua in the 1. The stopgap between this lead pack and the rest. Iacobazzi in the 24, Hudspeth in the 9, trying to find some sort of respite. But Drew right now, the plug between the leaders, and now the connection between the lead pack and the pack behind him, Fish.
Yeah, Rick, and something I've been noticing, I don't think these Chevys are nearly as organized as the Fords. We've been able to see the Fords kind of been pretty calm throughout this race, but we're seeing a lot of just kind of, I don't know, miscommunication between these Chevys. Most of them, obviously, I believe Iacobazzi and Hudspeth are both on Thunderbolt's team, and then Drew is obviously on his own team, Team Drew. But we're starting to see, I feel like, more just not connection between these guys, especially the Chevys. Obviously, I don't think any Toyotas in this field actually won, but I'm really seeing not much connection between these Chevys. I just don't know how they're going to be able to make their way through the field, them kind of stacking each other up.
More left, the door open coming out of 4. Here comes Lamina in the 2. He's trying to get to the inside of Masser. Now Kukulon once again, who had a fender under the 22 of Moore. 52 laps now underway at the World Center of Racing. Of the scheduled 80, we have fewer than 30 remaining, and these cars getting ever closer, expert. Is it up to the 12 or is it up to the 6 to provide the push for the lead?
Well, we've seen so many times that 12 just be comfortable sitting behind the 22, and I would imagine with how this season has gone, that will not change. Like I mentioned before, I think the main aggressive push for a win is going to come out of that 3rd place position. You have Casey Masser right there. He's only made another start this season at Road America, and then you have the reigning champion and Drew Jua right there. He's hungry to get more wins and set himself up for the chase. So it's going to come behind these top 2, as I'm sure those McGinnis teammates are just fine being hooked up with each other.
28 laps to go in this race. 22, 12, 6, your top 3 Fords in the podium positions. The 9 of Gavin Hudspeth all over the place. He gets a shunt from the 4 of Goff, but look at the toe. Look at the closing speed. Hudspeth will stay on the inside and gives a big push to the 24 of Iacobazzi. Now, Fish, the pressure is really getting turned up on these leaders.
And obviously that's an important aspect of pressure here. I'm wondering if any of these guys are kind of, maybe, you know, we talk about guys choking a lot. I don't know. Oh, never mind. There they go. Casey Masters spun in front of the field. The 2 of Fabricio Lamana going through the grass. I think he saved it pretty well, though. It's going to cause a major stack up, and never mind. The 2 is kind of LePage. He slid back in front of the pack, and that's going to cause multiple cars spinning. I assume that's going to bring out the yellow flag. He's almost flipping on my end. I don't know if that's going to cause a yellow, but I'm pretty sure that should.
We're gonna see what these drivers can do here. The 41 of Barron running by his lonesome after leading for several laps. Goff without the draft. These drivers could use the respite of the yellow, but we'll see if we stay green. This time around, 53 laps to be completed. The 12 of Kukulon all over the back of the 22. There is a yellow flag to come out. Third caution of the evening. 53 laps into this race as race control calls it, but the drivers still moving at speed, and now it looks like they are reducing their speed, and they are doing so. Caution number 3 is out on the racetrack as the 9 of Gavin Hudspeth gets to the outside, but obviously Tim Moore, the leader at the time of yellow. So drivers get a moment to catch their breaths. What a race it's been so far. Fish, if you could make a prediction at the end of this race, who's got the best shot to win it?
I mean, I obviously like Tim Moore's chances. He's been, I don't know, like, I was going to say fairly dominant, but I think he's led almost all the laps here tonight. I don't know if you can go against him, but I think if anyone's got a chance to pass him, I think it's got to be Sebastian Kukulon. We know he has the skill to win here. He won here last year, obviously. I think it's got to be a Ford, though. Like I said, I don't think the Chevys are nearly as organized. I feel like it's got to be a Ford going to victory lane tonight. It's just, yeah, I think it's going out of that Ford camp, specifically one of those two McGinnis cars.
Shrek28 asks, is this a console league? It is indeed. Anything on NASCAR Heat 5 is going to be this console league. This is the season finale for the OMA top tier. The 24 of Vinny Iacovazzi getting back on the lead lap, and he's in racing contention for this. Expert, anybody but the 22 of Tim Moore, who's got the best chance to win this race?
Well, earlier I said Sebastian Kukulon, but of course Fisher already picked him, so I'm going to go with somebody different. And it's somebody I've gotten very familiar with racing with in the VNS series. He's had moments where it looked like he could win and get his first career OMA win, and it just seemed to get snatched away from him. He's quietly been towards the front, hasn't necessarily touched the lead, but it looks like he has the speed and the aggression to do so. I'm looking at Ryan Steinberg in that 10 to possibly go up there and snatch his first career OMA and VRC win.
Let's see if we can get a word with the pilot of the number 6 Wienermobile, Casey Masser. See how he's enjoying his race so far. Casey Masser, Rick James in the booth. You got me? Casey Masser, Rick James in the booth. You got me, pal? And we're going to let Casey get back to work here. We're going to send him back to his McGinnis team. These drivers must be pretty busy here. So we're not going to bother them. We're going to let them double up and get racing one more time. Fans at home, we've got another 6 minutes, 50 seconds on the pre-roll counter, so we will stay ad-free for at least 6:50. We're going to be getting ready to go here. The 12 car of Seb Kukulon to the inside, the 1 of Drew Jua to his outside, and all of these drivers behind them ready for the challenge. The 24 of Vin Iacovazzi behind the 1 of Jua, and on the inside line, 2 Fords, the 1 Chevy of Gavin Hudspeth being sandwiched in between. Expert, coming on a restart here at Daytona, is it better to hang back and get the run down the backstretch, or do you want to get out as fast as possible?
Definitely get out as fast as possible. It's all about momentum and being able to maintain that. And of course, you want to be the fastest up to speed to see if you can gain any sort of position and just block the rest of the momentum that the other drivers will have from there. So it's all about getting the good jump here on this initial start.
We'll see the kind of jump that the 12 of Kukulon gets coming to the line. 57 laps about to be underway of the scheduled 80, and we are racing again in the season finale. Cars darting down to the inside. That's the 22 of Moore, who potentially has tires under that yellow line. He gets into position behind the 1 of Jua. Expert, I didn't see if the 22 advanced spots under the yellow.
No, he actually lost 2 spots there. I believe contact between him and Jua caused a checkup there and caused contact between those two. The 24 Yakabasi took advantage, and now I believe that 24 goes from being a lap down before halfway to now he's leading here at Daytona.
Vin Yakavazzi to the point, 24, 22, 1. Chevy, Ford, Chevy, your top 3, getting closer to the 20 lap to go mark. 59 laps underway. Next time by, Fish. The 24's back to the front. The 77 of Yulhanian finding some trouble. The 88 of Parker Ness trying to get back into contention. It's the first time a Chevrolet has led in ages in this race tonight. Does Yakavazzi have the skill to stay ahead of the champion, of the regular season champion?
We obviously know he has the skill. He went to victory lane earlier this season at Phoenix, so we know he's very talented. But that was off of, I think, a pit strategy win. So we know he hasn't really won off of skill so far. And obviously, pit strategy requires skill there. But we haven't seen him really do anything in his limited starts this season. Obviously, out of playoff contention. But I think we might be able to throw that claim that I said about Chevy's being disorganized out the window. But here comes Tim Moore on the bottom lane as Yakavazzi slides up to the top.
Tim Moore now to the inside, and he's going to go back to the point, the 12 of Kukulon, watching all of this unfold. He's got the 1 of Jua right in front of him. 22, 24, 1, now your top 3. Ford, Chevy, Chevy, with the 12 of Kukulon trying to break that gap, that trend. He's got the 9 right behind him. The 4 of Goff coming up as well. All these drivers squirreling left and right, trying to find some sort of air, some sort of run. 21 laps to go next time by, Expert.
And right here you can see different guys trying to get organized in factions. That 9 previously has stated he's willing to work with anybody. So you could see a host of forts behind him getting stacked up that are not of McGinnis relation. Those guys are going to try to get together. But of course, 2 guys that I've focused on before about being aggressive. Last year's 250 winner, Vinny Yakavazzi, and then the reigning champion, Drew Jua. They're sitting 2nd and 3rd respectively, and they are very aggressive when it comes to plate racing moves. Watch for these guys to try to make a move around Tim Moore.
21 laps to go now, 60 laps underway. Moore leads. He's got the 24 of Yakavazzi behind him and the 1 of Jua sitting in 3rd. Gavin Hudspeth back into the top 5 with the 10 of Ryan Steinberg behind him. Now to the outside, here comes the rookie in car 99 trying to make his way through. Ike Shelley, the VNS Season 4 champion, trying to make some sort of headway. He's getting a big push from Joni Olhanian in the Advent Health Camaro on the outside. The 4 of, the 00 of Vera, who gets into the 77. Vera's into the wall. He gets collected by the 77 of Yulhanian. The 4 of Goff is around. The 6 of Masser has been collected. Continues to spin. Gathers the Wienermobile right in front of the 77 and the 4. And just more trouble for the 77 of Yulhanian. And you saw Logan Vera just get into the left rear bumper of Yulhanian. And the yellow flag is now out for the 4th time this evening. Let's see if we can get another word with the 22 of Tim Moore, who's leading this race. Timmy Moore, Rick James in the booth. You got us, buddy? Tim Moore, Rick James in the booth. You got me, pal?
Now, got it, fellas.
Hey, Timmy, 2nd time's the charm, buddy. You have been leading the majority of this race. You clinched this regular season championship with your eyes closed. 7 wins in the last 9 races, Timmy. Are we going 8 for 10 tonight?
I would like to go for 8 for 10, but most importantly, crack double digits. But we'll see. You know, this race has been wild. A lot of hard, hectic racing around behind. A lot of guys having fun because realistically, with the exception of, well, not even really one person anymore, because unfortunately the 42 couldn't show up today. Not really much is on the line. So we're all just kind of trying to go out there and have a little bit of fun. And right now we've been doing a good job of leading the car out there out in front. But again, you never know what could happen here coming down to the end. I expect it to be a good finish, as I know you love to call those restrictor plate races, Rick. It'll be a good finish to the end, I can guarantee that.
Fewer than 20 laps to go. You know me so well, buddy. These restrictor plates are my bread and butter. And the last time I called an OMA race at Daytona, you won in ridiculously thrilling fashion. Who's your biggest challenge tonight to get the W?
When you come down to the end here, obviously the 24 has a point to prove. After all, he did win the Daytona 250 the year before me. But as well, Sebi's due for one. He's done a very good job throughout this season. He's come close many times. And I also want Ken out the 6 or the 2. I mean, they've done very good jobs out here all day. And I mean, really, if I'm being honest, I can't count out many people, Rick. I mean, the unpredictability of restrictor plate racing. I could be in the lead here coming to the green, but doesn't mean much, when when you get trained. So it's kind of just trying to figure out where you need to be, right place, right time. But I could say there's about 9 or 10 cars that can compete with me here at the end.
It looks like a tough field out there, my friend. When's your cutoff? When does your inner crew chief tell you, nope, it's too late for fuel or tires, you're staying out?
Right now, because we were borderline on fuel, and at this point, we now should be good to go on fuel. So, for me, this is the cutoff. We have to stay out from this point on.
Getting ready to go green this time, pal. The fans at home are dying to know, what is your favorite kind of cereal?
Oh, that's tough. I think I love my Special K chocolate, as well as for a chocolate frosted mini wheat. So, it's out there. I got a bunch of them.
Go on and get them, Timmy. Good luck tonight.
Thank you so much, Rick.
Frosted mini wheats, Fish. What do you think about cereal? The Special K chocolate. That's a good cereal. I don't know if you've ever had it, but it's fantastic. I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Honey Nut Cheerios myself, but Timmy Moore, as we're going to green here, he really likes the Special K.
I've never had either of those, but hey, if Tim gets the win, maybe he can have a nice bowl of that Special K. Yeah, we're coming to the green here. Who knows what's going to happen?
Iacobacci to the outside, more to the inside. We are green this time by 64 laps now underway. 16 to go. Next time by Iacobacci to the outright lead with the regular season champion behind him. Kukulon to the outside. The 10 of Ryan Steinberg pushing along. Now you see the 9 of Gavin Hudspeth weaving about, trying to gain speed, losing traction to Jua. Now the 10 of Steinberg gets between Jua and Hudspeth. 24 leading with a mirrorful of 22. Jua loses the inside line. Chevy, Ford, your top 3 into 3, expert.
And right here, you can see different guys starting to get organized. The McGinnis pack has basically been separated now, as we see Chevy, Ford, Chevy, Ford right there in your top 5. There's only 2 cars of the same team in there, 3 of the same manufacturer, and then of course you see the 2 Chevys there as well. So it's going to be a coin flip for the rest of these guys, but a little bit of separation. Jujua looks like he's trying to build up a run.
24 leading so far. Jua hanging back. He's got help from Kukulon in that 12, Fish. Who's going to make the move? When do these drivers jump out?
I think now, well, obviously not. You can't, you're going to want to make those moves towards the later half of the race. We're obviously getting close. I believe we have around 15 or so laps to go this time by. So we're going to see guys maybe try to make that move, but you don't want to make it too early. So I think we're going to see some of these guys wait till about 3, maybe even a little bit later. I wouldn't make that move until the last lap, personally. I think we can maybe see some varying strategies here, as Juba looks like he's the only one in the top lane, though.
Jua using that slingshot to move and muscle his way to the front around the 24 of Iacobacci. Fish, power move to the outside, but now he's a sitting duck down the back.
I'm really shocked how Drew made that move work. I thought he was going to just fall to the back, but he was able to make that move work. One of the lead now. He does have a Chevrolet teammate behind him in Vincenzo Iacobacci. We haven't seen Vinny. He's trying to get back to the lead here, obviously, with the unfortunate start. He wants to win, get that second Daytona win in his career. But right now, I think you got to be patient, and I'm hoping we'll see him be patient here, just as we don't want to see many wrecks here. We want to see a nice, good finish.
Expert, 14 laps to go. The 1 of Jua leading, the 24 of Iacobacci with a point to prove. And Tim Moore, who we just spoke with, saying everybody is a challenge to get around, sitting in 3rd. Is patience the name of the game, or do you have to go now?
Well, you're talking to a guy who will make a 3-run move on lap 1, but when it comes to these parts in the race, patience does play a factor. You got to be able to know when is the right time to make the move. You don't want to make it too early, but you also don't want to make it too late and cost yourself a chance at this win. You got to look to put yourself in position. If I'm in this position right now, I'm looking at Sebastian Kukulon probably being in the catbird seat. I mean, being in third is probably the best spot to be at in this point in the race because you can really decide where this race will go from this point on.
Lucky number 13 laps to go, and they tick down. You heard the 22 of Tim Moore saying it's too late, and now he's trying to go to the front. And no more pit stops for Tim Moore, and he doesn't need it. The rookie Parker Ness looks to the inside. He gets cut off as Moore blocks him just before Ness has the substantial room to get to the front, and it's the first time we've seen the 88 in the podium positions. What does the rookie do, Fish? Does he sit behind the 22 and wait for the final laps?
I'm honestly shocked we haven't seen Parker Ness up in the front more in this race. Going into the night, he's quietly up fourth in the standings here. So we know he's very fast, but he hasn't been able to get that win, which we know he wants. And there's a good chance he can get it. We saw him almost make the pass on the backstretch. He just needs this. He needs Jua there in a Chevy as well, along with his Thunderbolt teammate Vincenzo Iacovazzi to try to go with him here. And I think that's another Chevy behind him as well. That might be there's a solid amount of Chevys lined up behind him, so he's got a lot of help if he wants to make a move.
22 leading, he's got the 88 behind him, and they're starting to break out a gap. If the rookie Ness can stay glued to the back of the 22, stays a little more stable behind this Shell Pennzoil Ford, they can really break away. The one of Jua seems to be playing that game as well. 11 laps now remaining, 70 underway of the scheduled 80. More to the lead, and there's no looking back now. If he does, he's going to see the 24 of Iacovazzi on the outside, Expert.
Yeah, and a huge checkup now as those guys try to get back in line. It's all about setting yourself up for position. The 24 tried to make a move there with the 12 of Sebastian Kukulon. Two guys you really wouldn't see to work together, but right now there is no teammates when you get to this later stage of the race. It's just who can help you get to the front and who can you help get to the front. And a lot of guys are realizing that right now. Expect to see that a lot more as we hit the closing laps.
15 miles to go in this finale for the OMA regular season. 22 leads, 88 behind him. The one sitting in the third position. Casey Master being shoved to the inside. Drew Jua trying to get a run for the backstretch, and you can just see the disaster and the disorganization as cars try to get it back together. Looking from the back of the 12 after everybody had to check up in turn one. Single file once again. Drua trying the power move to the outside. Now here comes Hudspeth to make it 3 wide on the outside with his number 9. Trying to sneak into third around the one of Jua. He's got right to his inside, and he's just run out of steam on the high side. Fish, brave move by the 9 of Hudspeth, but he slots back into line with 9 to go.
And we look at Gavin Hudspeth. He's been pretty quiet all season, but we look at him, he is, I believe, 13th in points, so we know he's fast. Not nearly as good as his teammates with Parker Ness and Vincenzo Iacovazzi, both being pretty good this season. But he did finish second in the Daytona 250 earlier this year, obviously. So we know he can get up there, and I think we could possibly see a repeat of the earlier Daytona race, maybe with that 22 and 9 finishing 1-2. He's got a long way to go to get up there.
The 2 of Lamina back into the lead pack. Expert, the 22 leads. The 88 of Ness now moved to the outside. He's got the 1 right behind him, gunning for first. 8 to go.
And right here, this is an idea for the 88. He sees how wild these guys are getting. Probably can sense a caution there as the 9 and 2 get out of the line. A little bit of contact there. And these guys are going to stack up. And here comes that second group with a run. 3 big groups are now split from the main pack. They're looking to try to get together here.
Down the backstretch, 22 leads. 1 behind him. 24 sitting in third. Ford, Chevy, Ford, Ford with the 12 of Kukulon. Rounding out the top 5. Possibly a minor lag spike from the 24 of Iacovazzi. Fish, that 24, he's proven he can lead. He just needs the partners. He stops the 6 from making a move. 7 laps to go. Where does the 24 pick his moment?
I think he could easily be getting flashbacks from last season's Daytona 250, getting that win there, but it was an incredible pass. He had to make a move on his then Hoffman Family Racing teammate Donovan David. He had to make that last lap pass there and was able to make it come into the line. So we know he knows how to win here, and I think he's got a pretty good chance. If Jua goes with him, maybe, or anybody behind him, he does have a couple of Chevys back there with Hudspeth and Ness back there, but he's got to have a few guys go with him.
His baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. He's also got a last name, Masser. Casey Masser in the Wienermobile, sitting fourth ahead of that blue Maytag Mustang of Kukulon. 6 laps to go in this race. Tim Moore holding all the cards close to his chest. Expert, is it too little, too late for Masser? Who does he pick to draft to the front?
Well, if you're going with Masser right now, he's got to look at his core teammate right behind him, and Sebastian Kukulon, last year's winner. He knows how to get it done here. You also got to look at guys like Gavin Hudspeth in that 9, the 88 of Parker Ness, 2 Chevys who have been very fond of the Ford teammates in the Ford brand. Those guys could definitely make a 4-car train up on the high side.
So far, the inside is where everybody wants to be. 6 laps to go, 75 laps underway. I'm sorry, 5 laps to go, 76 laps now underway. 22 leads. The one behind him, a gap back to Masser. Expert, this is the moment for Masser. He's trying to get a run.
And here we go down the back straightaway. He's going to look for the possible run. He gets to the back bumper, and here we go. Sebastian Kukulon to the high side. Here comes the 9 with him as well. 3 cars up to the high side. Let's see if they can get the run off at turn number 4.
3 by 3, 3 rows deep. Now here comes the 88 of Ness on the inside line. Now the 6 car of Masser to the inside line. The 12 of Kukulon, the 9 of Hudspeth. Left 4 dead. 4 laps to go in the regular season finale. 22 leads, 1 behind him. Masser looking to the inside. Fish.
I'm really shocked that we did not see the Chevys go there. Obviously, we have Jua, Jakubowski, Hudspeth, and Ness all lined up here. 3 of those are Thunderbolt cars, and then Jua in the Team Drew machine. I'm really expecting to see these guys maybe make a move because you have more of an alliance here. Obviously, Tim Moore in that Ford out in front. Maybe he's left kind of by himself since he's got a couple of Chevys lined up behind him, and now he's moving to the top here, maybe trying to block a run. And it's actually, we have a caution. That's
Yellow
going to set
flag.
up a late race restart here.
You called it, Fish. Yellow flag will come out, coming to the line with 3 laps to go. We're going to have a green-white checkered. When they get doubled up, Jakubowski will be starting on the outside. Masser sitting in 3rd. Drivers still moving at speed, and now it seems like they're reducing their speed. Yellow flag is out, and it's going to be a green-white checkered to settle this race. Pits are closed, and now they've got to double up and get ready for this restart. Expert, who do you got?
Well, right here, we can see the aggressiveness. There's so many different people to choose. You have the reigning champion. You have the regular season champion. You have a former Daytona 250 winner. You also have Casey Masser up here as well. And you have the rookie Parker Ness, who filled in. That's basically the same car that won the Talladega race, the same car that won the last race that Chevy came in and won a restrictor plate race. So a bunch of choices here in the top 5, and I don't even know if the winner is going to come from this top 5. These guys have been so wild up to this point.
Coming to 2 laps to go. A green-white checkered finish to end the regular season. The 22 of Tim Moore leading. 5 more miles to decide the winner at Daytona. One more time. Let's turn them loose. Green flag is out. Everybody on that inside line. Fish, they're trying to find one way or the other to get to the front.
Yeah, and looking as the guys drop in the back as well. Someone was all the way down the apron. That's Fabricio Lamana in that 2 car. We saw some guys drop in the back. That was the 24 of Jakubowski and Jua, and the one that kind of puts them in the back is we're going to come take the white flag this time. There's a lot of Chevys lined up behind the 2 Fords. There's 3 in from 3rd to 5th. You can see them make a move, but Tim Moore going to come lead us to the white flag.
Expert, white flag is out this time by. Where does Masser pick his moment?
Definitely off of 2. It's got to be where that run comes from. Look for the separation to begin here. on the entry of one. If a move's going to occur, you'll definitely see where it's going to happen at. Masser building up the run. Moore trying to deflate that by heading to the high side and trying to take the draft away. But here we go. Guys lined up. Masser looking to see if he can find it. Here he goes. Here comes the move. Here comes Parker Ness. Where is he going to go? He's going to stay with Tim Moore.
Moore now to the inside. He's got Ness behind him. Masser's done for. He's got the 9 of Hudspeth right behind him as well. Coming to the line. Who's going to jump to the outside? Moore leading. There he's got the 88 coming to his outside. Drag race to the line to win the regular season finale. It's Tim Moore in the 22. Drag race for second between the 8 and the 9 respectively. And just as it was earlier this year, Tim Moore wins again. 8 wins in the last 10 starts for the driver of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford. Word Burton, a.k.a. Tim Moore, getting the win at Daytona, Fish.
Regardless, even if I think it's going to be, the 9 comes home third. I was about to say it was a repeat of earlier this season in the Daytona 250 where we saw Tim Moore and Gavin Hudspeth finish 1-2, but it's still Tim and then a Thunderbolt car with Ness and that 88 car teammates to Gavin Hudspeth finishing that second spot. But man, what a race. You can't ever doubt Tim Moore. And this proves it. He's going to victory lane for the 10th time this year, and he got his goal. He wanted to get double digits. Maybe he'll celebrate with a nice bowl of Special K.
We're going to talk to Tim Moore here in just a moment. Fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to have the top 3 interviews in just a few moments. Back on the podium for our top 3 interviews, a thrilling finish there. Fish, you've got our 3rd place finisher, Gavin Hudspeth.
I got Gavin here. Gavin, what a finish. P3. Obviously, we know you would have loved to get that win there, but coming to the line, we saw you had your teammate in front of you, Parker Ness. You tried to make a 3-wide move. What could you have done better or try to do there to get that win instead of coming home third?
Well, I have no idea. I think we had a good car and we had our little team going up front for most of the race, and I was just trying to see if I could maybe split it 3 wide. I thought I had a little bit of a run, and then by the time I would have went with the 88 or the 22, it was too late. I was already stuck on the bottom, so I just decided to stick it with Tim and push another McGinnis car to the win. I think this is the 3rd time every plate race I've pushed one to a win, except for the VNS race last night. So that's a funny streak to keep going.
Yeah, I got one more question. So we know you haven't been nearly as much of a factor of you as you probably would have want to be this season, but what can you just kind of take away from this good finish? Obviously, you finished second to start off the year in Daytona. You think you're becoming a pretty good plate racer?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy the plate racing experience. I think it's really fun, especially towards the end when we're not all single file, and that really just is something I enjoy. And I haven't been around much, but I will say, hopefully next season I can get around more often. I just haven't had time, but I really do enjoy the Online Motorsports Association. I just want to thank the booth and everybody for putting this on.
Congrats on the P3, Gavin. Good luck next race.
Expert, you've got our silver medalist this evening, the 88 Exalta pilot of Parker Ness.
Yes, sir. Parker Ness, you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Parker, you got a copy, man?
Yeah, I got you. Hello.
Expert, he's got you here. You might want to crank up your volume. All right, cool.
I got him. All right, man. You come home second after a very close race there. Almost made it 3 wide on the back straightaway and almost had it off of 4 as well. That pretty much solidifies you going into the playoffs. Looking at the standings right now, 4th. How does it feel to take a podium finish and get some momentum as you head into Atlanta next week?
Well, it's great. Getting second place at Daytona is like really good, and getting that momentum in the playoffs is very important. And next 2 races are really good tracks for me, so I think we have a chance of competing for a championship. But Tim's had such a huge lead, but we'll see what happens. But really liking my chances next 2 weeks.
All right. Well, definitely congratulations once again on the podium finish. Second of the year, man. Go celebrate it.
Thanks, man.
All right, Rick. I think you have our winner here.
And the winner, driver of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford, with his 8th win in the last 10 OMA races. Tim Moore, in your in-car interview, you said you had the car to win, and it came true, my friend. How did you stave off that exciting run from the 88 and the 9 in that final lap?
Honestly, I had no clue. Coming down to 2 to go, I knew what Casey was doing, laying off to try to set up a run. And it's funny when you do so many of these things, Rick. You learn so much, and I learned especially a lot from Tyler Dohar in regards to how you try to break up the draft and really try to set yourself up into a good position. Because listen, the way these things are all set up, you can't. How do I put it? Unless you physically slow down, you can't stop a car from checking up and setting up a run. So there has to be other ways to keep your momentum, without making yourself a detriment. And I saw the 6-taker run there coming off turn 2, and I knew he was going to jump to the high side. I honestly thought he was going to have a lot more help. I didn't think that he was going to be by himself, but I knew that I couldn't let the 88 squeeze me 3 wide, because if he squeezed me 3 wide, we were all done for going into turn 3, just because it's, with the draft and so on, when everyone's side drafting, it's so hard to keep that momentum up. So once I knew he got behind me, I knew we were a little bit solid. But then Parker made a good move. For me, it's about, racing him cleanly and respectfully, like how he's done for me all season long. And he made a good move. He side drafted me. He actually got to my nose there coming to the tri-oval, but I just got one little push from the 9 to push me back over. And I truthfully, again, you sometimes get lucky with these things, with the exception of the tie or overturn win that I had at Talladega. It's funny. I've won every single plate race I've been in. It's not easy to do it. And, I'll take it. Again, you just got to get lucky sometimes. And luckily, luck's been on my side this entire season.
And what a season it's been so far. You go into the playoffs with the regular season championship and one hell of a chip on your shoulder. Timmy, congratulations again on that gold medal.
Thank you so much, Rick. I want to thank you guys for the broadcast and so on. That was awesome.
Wonderful race tonight, Fish Expert. Thank you so much. Fish, thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight, my friend.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having me, Rick. Hopefully we can do this again. I know you're going to be on the broadcast for the championship, I think is what I heard. So if you are, that should be a fun one. But yeah, it was a great race overall. Congrats again to Tim on the win. And man, I'm just looking forward to the next race. I don't know where we're racing because I don't have that pulled up right now. playoffs are starting, so it's going to be some interesting racing there.
Big shout out to One-Handed Bear and 420C Rock NASCAR, Shrek, all the fans in the chat, Vols Fan 88. Guys, thank you so much. We can't do this without you. Expert, without you and Fish, we couldn't have done this race. Thanks for being here, man. What a thrill.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. Definitely, I know it's a last-minute thing to bring me up here, but always a great opportunity to come up here with one of the NASCAR Heat commentary greats. Of course, being you, Rick James, it's always an honor and a privilege to be up here. And yep, definitely, like Fisher said, can't wait to see these guys dive off into Atlanta next week. It's my home track, so definitely a lot of fun to see these guys go there. And it's going to be a tough early test for these guys, as they're going to have to combine not only speed but strategy there to start off the playoffs.
Next Saturday night, 8 p.m., the OMA Circus continues from Atlanta, Georgia, over there in Hampton. It's going to be a fantastic race, and the playoffs get kicked off next Saturday night, 8 p.m. Fans, thank you so much for being a part of this show. Quite literally, it is impossible to do these without you. And what a night it was. For Fisher, for Expert Racing, for Tim Moore, Gavin Hudspeth, and Parker Ness, I'm Rick James. It was my pleasure to bring you this race. Everyone, please take care of each other.